Hey guys, it's Datamancer here. Still fighting audio issues as usual, so my voice might be really loud, not really sure. I'm not going to be talking very loud because it's Dwarf Fortress and this game doesn't really get my blood pumping quite like racing does. But I feel like doing something a little bit low-key today, so I thought it'd be fun to continue on with our fortress. I popped into the game. I initially wasn't going to stream it because I really have a hard time believing anyone cares about watching me play Dwarf Fortress, but it's funny how easy streaming is, so it's pretty easy for me to just click a few times, change my YouTube stuff a little bit around, and, you know, and then now we're playing Dwarf Fortress. So, if you like it, great. If not, well, whatever. Where did we leave off? Where we left off, we had started to build bedrooms. We had started to build a bedroom floor, which is down here. Got 8 sweet little bedrooms for them to live in. Oh, and I had started working on nobles' quarters, which is always good to have nobles being some of the prissiest folk you'll ever meet. Dwarven nobility is apparently quite... they have a lot of needs. Let's leave it at that. And that was going nicely. We got our first wave of migrants right before I stopped last time. I remember that. So those guys need something to do, and yeah. So I'm not really sure what we're going to tackle this time. I think I don't know. We could start a military, which would probably require me to stop and look at the wiki a few times. This game is notoriously difficult for setting up militaries. I'd like to give my animals eating. When I started the game, I'm using something called DFHack, and it helpfully informed me that some of my camels are starving. I didn't know I had camels. That's also the nature of Dwarf Fortress, is unless you really know where to look, it's kind of hard to tell what kind of animals you have. I did just find my list here. I have 2 cats, a gang of dogs, some ducks, including a drake, a baby lamb. A baby lamb? An ewe is a baby lamb, I think. Some hens, a horse, a hunting dog, a puppy that has apparently been born. It claims I have a ram, a rooster. This is like in alphabetical order, not terribly helpful. Some turkeys, and a 2-humped camel. And those animals are getting hungry, and I'm going to have to figure out how the hell to feed them, because I don't really know. I think you use the pasturing mechanism, which I have used in the past, but I really haven't played Dwarf Fortress seriously for a long time. Okay, arguably I never played it seriously, but I haven't been playing enough to be good at it in a long time. So let's start by trying to figure out this pasturing crap. I think it's a zone. Oh, here's a nice... Oh, I got a zone right here. It is set to pen and pasture. I have a set pen and pasture information. It looks like this is where I assign what I want to live out here. I like my dogs to live indoors, but that sheep can go out there, the ram can go out there. I don't know if I have to fence it in, or do they just like... Are they just like hyper obedient? I see I have a viewer. I don't know if you know about Dwarf Fortress. Obviously you're here watching a Dwarf Fortress stream, so I am watching chat. If you want to participate, we'll definitely pay attention. If you know what you're doing, then that's more than I can say for myself, but we'll figure it out as we go. The horse can probably live outside. It's like the turkeys and chickens and shit, I think you put them in nest boxes so they can lay eggs. I don't know what turkey eggs taste like, but I can't imagine they're very good. But then that's just, I'm American, so chicken eggs is like all we ever think about. But I have these nest boxes here that are, every single one of them is unclaimed. I would have thought, oh, one of my hens took a nest box. But that makes me think that the turkeys aren't going to use the nest boxes. So let's go ahead and put all the turkeys out here too. Seems like probably a good idea. If they have pasture, presumably they just sort of like eat. And this is like, if you've never played Dwarf Fortress, sometimes you just do shit because it seems like the right move. But There's a whole bunch of hens. Go claim your boxes, you dumb hens. And they let the rooster... Doesn't need a box, presumably. But will they breed if I put the rooster out here? I mean, the hens need pasture, too. They don't just sit in their nest box all day. Sometimes you just try stuff, and sometimes bad stuff happens, and everybody dies. And that's arguably the fun of the game. I'm not... No, let's leave the puppy. Okay, all those animals can go out there. Let's see if we can get everyone to... Whoa, look at that. Everybody that was idle just suddenly got a job to do, and it is take the animals outdoors. My dwarves really don't like going outdoors. It makes them ill. It's hard out there for a dwarf. There's just a big pile of animals out there now. Well, hopefully they will not starve. I have no idea. I really, really don't. Everyone's puking because they had to go outside. Poor guys. We also were working on getting our brewing operation working last time, and it looks like we're good to go there. This is the stock screen. Can you see my mouse cursor? I don't know. I'm looking on the YouTube video, and it seems like the answer to that question is no. But on the left here, you can see drink 84. Oh yeah, there it is. Drink 84, plant 74. So that's like the food. We have no meat and no fish. I was looking at this before I started the stream, and I was really annoyed to find that we have this lovely river that apparently no fish live in. You could see the fish, like they'd be on the screen. There was a lamprey in one of these lakes earlier. If you want to be disgusted by nature, go ahead and Google what a lamprey is if you don't know. But my thinking then is if there's no fish, then there's no fish. So assigning a fishing spot out there is pointless. We can do it anyway and just see what happens. Yeah. The hell, why not? Let's say that this will be... Oh, and this will bite us in the ass later, but let's do it anyway. This will be a zone. This will be a fishing zone. And it will also be a water source. Now, for those that haven't played any Dwarf Fortress before, what you'll quickly learn when you start playing is that when dwarves get injured, aside from needing a hospital and a doctor and all sorts of other stuff, they need fresh water. It's the only time in their lives where they give a damn about fresh water. And if you're under attack, which is when people get hurt a lot, they will run outside and go get fresh water for the injured people and become injured themselves, and then everybody dies. It's a lot of fun. There are ways to try to get fresh water into the fortress, which we will probably do. One of my favorite things to do in Dwarf Fortress is build an indoor waterfall. But that will require us to be a little bit more set up before we can do that. That is truly one of the fantastic parts of Dwarf Fortress, is trying to set up an indoor waterfall without flooding your fortress and killing everybody. The things you do for your dwarves for vanity are pretty extreme. Okay, we got a food stockpile here, which is a terrible place for it, but that's just where it is right now. We've got some stockpiles. We don't have enough, though, so let's assign some more. We've got all these lazy dwarves just hanging out doing nothing, and we could stand to put them to work. And the easiest way to do that is to start defining where things should be stored. We'll set up a bar and block store. To begin, you just really want a few small ones. Like, you're not going to have a lot of bars and blocks right now. I don't have a smith set up, so why would there be any, right? Cloth can be fairly large. There tends to be more cloth than you would think, even if you're not making clothing. They tend to bring some in, I think. And you saw that big pile of crap. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Sitting outside. And let's do that. I don't like the asymmetry, but that's just the way it's going to be right now. Get some weapons, store some armor. Yeah, asymmetry, not my favorite. There's all this stuff here. Now I could look at it and figure out what it is, or I could just build more stockpiles and hopefully they'll clean it all up. My hunch is they'll clean it all up. So all my animals are here. We can actually probably see what they're doing Can I see what... no. How did I do that? There's a way to look at the thoughts and actions of animals. I don't remember what that is. It's not terribly important, so we'll not do that right now. We've got our farm set up, we've got the seeds in the barrels, we've got some food. We could definitely make it through winter if we had to. The food production right now is strictly limited to plants. Oh, and I mean, I've created the fishing zone. Do I even have a fisher dwarf? Well, if I do, he's not working. Let me check therapist here. I actually have that set up so that you guys can see that, which is kind of cool. Here, I'll show you therapist. If you were with me last time, you saw it last time. This is Dwarven Therapist. It shows all my dwarves and all the jobs they can do. The job we're interested in right now is fishing, and nobody has been assigned to be a fishing dwarf. Now this guy right here, Mr. Udebismar, yeah, he is a presser. Now, I don't even know what that's for. It has, oh, it's probably for making oil out of plant material. That is patently useless to me right now. So we're going to give him the job of fisher, fish cleaner, and fish dissector. And we're going to commit those changes. And now he does those things. Now, whether or not he can fish there is the next question. But let's find out, shall we? Okay, so here we are. Let's see if he runs out there. I'm kind of curious to see what he does. If he comes popping out here real fast... Oh, is that him? Somebody's on the move. Is that him? What's he doing? Who is that? Oh, God, that's not the right button. V, there we go. Yep, that's him. He is fishing. It'll be curious to see if he actually catches anything, because I wasn't seeing any fish, but... if he does, that would be fantastic. Then we have another food source. Granted, one that's based in the outdoors, which isn't ideal. I'm looking over here at Therapist again. I know you guys can't see it right now, but I'm looking over here at Therapist to see if we have a hunter. Oh, he got a fish! Oh, fantastic. That's great news. So, our fishing industry is now alive and well. Really, he shouldn't do fish cleaning and fish dissecting. One of the cooks should do that. So let's see if we can set that up. Because the cooks can just hang out inside all day, and he can bring the fish to them, and they can handle all the butchery, is how I usually like to do it. So let me switch this back over. Kind of a pain. So here's Therapist again. So I can't watch YouTube and do Therapist and everything at once, so if you guys start chatting at me and I'm a little slow to respond, I apologize. Stuff I wanted to see about hunting. Hunting, farming, soaping. I love this game for all of its jobs. Oh, we do have a hunter. Okay. So if there's any good at that, then great. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. I don't really know what else to say about that. So now Udil here, he has been given the job of cleaning and dissecting the fish. I don't think he needs those jobs. I think we want to give those jobs to one of our cooks. We're going to find cooking and brewing are done by Mr. Dusem Nekut Denchel. What a name. He can do those jobs, and you know, Udil doesn't need to do that. Because I honestly think that old Dusem here is going to really get bored. It's just not enough for him to do. Okay, back to the game. Sorry, there's going to be... Also, I mean, like, I don't know, if you're looking for a rip-roaring action-packed experience, it's just not... This just isn't it. I did this because I wanted to chill out, drink a beer, and I figured I'd share. But honestly, Dwarf Fortress is really low-pace, low-key. It gets exciting at times, but it's really abstract because it's just these little symbols moving around. And, you know, I mean, if that's what flips your skirt, then you're gonna have a really good time. But if not, you know, this is just Dwarf Fortress. So we have a fishery. It needs any fishing. Somebody has to come construct this. So we actually can't dissect the fish until Udil decides that he wants to get over here and construct this building. I kind of hate that because it's not under my control. I guess he felt it would be more fun to go outside. Okay. There's nothing I can do about it. So it just is what it is. Our miners are sitting idly. We could get them to get going on some more bedrooms. We'd like to have 12, 11 at least. So that's 3 more. I say 11, not 12. We have 12 dwarves, but one of them's a noble, and he has his own noble quarters. I've seen the fractal designs. There's like guys that go pretty hardcore into room building, and I respect it. And I've done it before as well. And ultimately, I don't know. It just seems like by the end I was using a tool that would draw all the rooms for me. That didn't seem as fun. And I know that this isn't the most efficient shape to draw rooms, but I kind of don't care. Maybe I should, but I don't. So fuck it. My miners are going, so that's gonna get that knocked out. We got a graveyard going, a mausoleum, or however you'd like to call it. Thankfully, we haven't had to use it yet. Knock on wood. Alright, the rocks are killing me. Dwarf Fortress has a exploit, a glitch in it, as it were. I don't really know how you'd call it. I'd call it an exploit, where you can dump all of these little rocks laying around into one square, and the game doesn't care. And neither do I. Sometimes I think about not doing it, and then I get tired of looking at all the stones just laying around, and I can't do it, so... I don't do it with lumber. You could do the same thing with lumber, but I really don't like doing it with lumber because it just seems really, really gamey. This game isn't that hard. Like, learning it's difficult, but like once you're playing it, it's like trying not to kill all your dwarves. It's not any harder than SimCity, really, in a lot of ways. So I need to create a zone. I think it's a zone, right? And it needs to be a garbage dump. Oh, that's F. Garbage dump. And then I can say designate not designate. It's not D. Really? Oh boy, I forgot how to do it. There's a way to dump things. Mark things for dumping. Well, let me Google that really quick. DF mark for dumping. Garbage dump. There's a whole wiki page on it called Stone Management because everyone's like, this is lame. Dumps or activity zones. KD. Okay. Oh, shit. Designate. Remove designation. Okay, can't have that just sitting there and drive me nuts. Okay. KD. No. K. God dang it. Or. Oh, there we go. It's DBD. So we go D. B is. Set building or item property. Yeah, and you say D for dump items. Some of these hotkeys, like most of the hotkeys at this point, I just remember. I'm not some super genius. I just have a way of remembering things like that. When I do them enough, like I could probably still build all the buildings in Age of Empires 2 by using the keyboard, because I did that a lot when I was, well, like 20 years ago. And Dwarf Fortress is rife with hotkeys, so you just sort of learn them. So right now I'm marking all this stone as, please dump it. And then we'll unforbid it, because dumped items are forbidden for use. Like, it's like you said it was garbage, so obviously they shouldn't use it, which makes sense in most contexts. In this particular context, it only hinders us, and this is the worst. I don't really know why some... I mean, it's good that it drops stone, actually. Dropping stone means we can use it to build things, and there's a percentage chance based on your miner skill for whether or not mining a block creates a stone. Some of this stuff, I don't know if it's stone. Like, I'm not sure what these are, but they might be gems, but I think they're some other variety of stone. Maybe an iron-based stone, which would be very good. This game is, let's say, realistic in its own way. Only certain rocks can be used, only certain minerals can be used to produce, you know, bronze and tin and iron. And just because it's a game about medieval-style dwarves fighting goblins doesn't mean that acquiring iron is a trivial process. In fact, getting your fortress location right is so crucial because some locations simply will not they won't spawn iron ore, and then you have to trade for all of your weapons, and that's doable. It's totally doable, but to a beginner, this game is a nightmare for beginners. It really is, but it's I think it's a lot of fun anyway. Here we go. We just found some gems. Let's go tell our gem cutter to get off his ass and cut them gems. Cut. Repeat. We have some set of gems here. Cut. Repeat. Oh, this is a pain. Cut. Repeat. Cut. Repeat. Cut. Repeat. Gee. Oh no! Claystone. Is that really a gem? If you say so. There's not really a reason to not cut gems that I've ever heard. I like to use them as trade goods. It's really easy to just have a lot of trade value from just raw gems. Or you want to cut them. That's the thing. You cut them and they just are worth more. It's a simple thing to do. Did that ass ever get... He still hasn't made the freaking fishery, and... We have had the game paused quite a bit, though, so... So that could be part of it. Hey, all my animals haven't, run away. What is this? Gypsum. Some logs. A dead kangaroo doe. That raises more questions than answers. I don't really know what gypsum is. Don't put me on Jeopardy. I would lose. I'm sure it's not important. Those are hazelnuts. That's kind of cool. I guess those are hazelnut trees. Can we gather the hazelnuts? Google that really quick. DF2 or Dwarf Fortress gather hazelnuts. There's a way to use fruit and nuts dropped from trees. Oh, it was like an old post before they had it all worked out. Damn it. There's a thing called plant gathering. It's one of the newer features, at least in my world, where you have to build. You have to have step ladders, and there was a big glitch for a long time where dwarves would get stuck at the top of step ladders and die because that's just the game. It seems kind of weird that the hazelnuts would hit the ground and then I couldn't just gather them. Let's just try it. Let's see what it does. I mean, I'm being a little bit lame here by not just trying it. Designate. Gather plants. See what it does. Maybe... Oh. Is that? Did it just do? It did not do, but they're gathering rhubarb, which is highly poisonous when raw, so who knows how that fun could end. I sure don't. Alright, all my idlers are not idle anymore because they've all been reassigned to rock hauling duty. We should probably get a military, like a barracks going. I like to put my barracks upstairs so that any dwarves that are training are in quick access to the front doors where invaders would presumably be trying to come in. I've built very few fortifications near the front doors because I suck at defending myself. Well, hell with it. I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. I have a tendency to overthink things in this game, too. It's natural to kind of... Especially, you can put a lot of time into these fortresses, and when you screw up, you kind of have to start all over. And that's fun in its own right, but obviously, if you can avoid screwing up, that's also fun. So we'll have them build out this barracks here. This should be really quick because it's like silt walls. Do we have any doors? We lack doors. So let's get the door guy to make us some doors. Mason's workshop. We need a lot of doors, honestly, so he can just... oh, and we need to do... Okay, it's D, B... Reclaim items buildings. There's a... I think if we do that, just like that, there, that pile of stone is now... Look at that, look at them all grab stuff. There was stuff in there that shouldn't have probably gotten put in there. But that's where the big pile of stone is, so now they have access to it. That is just about the only exploit in Dwarf Fortress I use that I know of, kind of shamelessly. What do we need? We need like a weapon rack. Like, they need to have like a weapon rack to be like, this is now a barracks. Because we have a weapon rack. I am going to have to stop and read the internet. I will try to read with you, or to you, in my dulcet tones. Weapon rack, W. As I do, so you know what I'm looking at, but we'll walk through setting up a military. I think it's good to get guys training, if I can make it work, which historically has been a little shaky, but what can I say? Militaries are hard, you know. I don't really know what else to go on beyond that. It's just they can be really freaking tricky sometimes. See, our mausoleum doesn't even have doors. Like, nothing has doors. Like, well, yeah, it does. Stuff has doors, but I haven't got this stuff set up yet either. 4 more beds would be good. I can't remember if I have to create beds for the barracks. I feel like I do. Okay, let's look at a military tutorial. It's time. Military quick start. We're gonna have to press some guys into service. They don't mind. I have a bad feeling our mason and our... Oh, some elves have shown up to stand around and look pretty. I don't have a trade depot set up yet. I guess a depot could go... A trade depot is where they bring their wagons when they come to trade. It is a good thing to have when you want it. Or when you care. Right now I don't, but I'll build it anyway so they have somewhere to park. Otherwise, they'll drive their shit all into my downstairs and then everything's chaotic. They want to know what I want for the next time they come back. And I always hate this part because I have no freaking clue. But you can kind of just go by, like, what seems like it would be useful in a pinch. Like if you have it, maybe I'll buy it. So, if you have seeds, oh, yeah, if you have plump helmet spawn, that's the seeds we grow, I might buy them. I'm not saying I'm going to need them, but you never know. And pigtails are good too. I don't care beyond that. If you bring an iron anvil, maybe I'll buy it. I probably won't. They don't seem to get all cheesed if you ask for things and you don't buy them. I mean, yeah, bring picks if you've got them. I can't imagine needing any of this stuff. If you bring dwarven beer, maybe I'll buy some. Gypsum plaster. That's probably why the gypsum's there, and that's for making casts in all likelihood, which is probably related to the medical industry, which we haven't built in a hospital yet, which is just begging for problems. Yeah, I don't feel strongly that I need any of this. Bring lye. I always have trouble finding lye. Yeah, okay. Good. Nope. Okay, yep. Done. Thank you. Yes, okay. Please. Yes, very nice. It's a very nice document. Okay, we're done talking now. What are you willing to offer for my craftsmanship? This is an interesting one. If the game would let me. The hell, game? Oh, I hit caps lock. That really upset it. Now they're telling me that if I create them, these things, that they'll pay me really well for them next year. Amulets. Backpacks. Some strange, they always just pick like random shit. It's sort of funny. Amulets is pretty cool. I think you can make stone amulets. And then you make your crafts dwarf just like churn out junk and make money. We don't make money. This game doesn't, well, it does later in the game, but this is a bartering system, so things are only valuable as much as I'm willing to trade them for something else, and right now I could barely identify what I even want to, like, have. Which is kind of funny, I guess. Okay. So, let's get our barracks going here. Weapon rack. Build our weapon rack and armor stand in here. It's gonna be our barracks. I see we need a barrel. You can tell you need a barrel because those are seeds laying in... Oh, shit. There's seeds here laying in a stockpile with no barrel. It doesn't hurt that. It doesn't hurt to not have a barrel or anything. It's not like, oh god, that's so bad. But it also means you're out of barrels, and one thing that you absolutely need barrels for is brewing. You can't brew without somewhere to put it. And you need brewing. Speaking of, let's check our stocks. We're down to 54 drink. We were up at about 80 before, so these guys have been thirsty. We have 97 plants though, so it kind of swung the other direction, which is what you want to see, because they make the beer from the plants. So let's have them make 5 more units of beer or ale or whatever it is. It's never exactly clear to me because I don't really pay that much attention. Oh, that's been marked to dump, and they haven't dumped it. Maybe we just won't. Maybe we'll just not dump that then. Maybe that's important. Just dump some of these rocks that are still sitting around. They've cleaned up the rest of the fortress. Now I'm noticing litter. And then we'll figure out military. That'll be really exciting. By that I mean rip-roaring time through the menus. But hey, if we can get the military going, then that's always good for the fortress. Been saying since the beginning I'd get these bedrooms done. I've been slacking. That's dumb. I hate it when they do that. They can't build the bed until they move the rock. Which, there, see, they've moved the rock now. Now I can say, resume construction. Okay, let's create a bedroom. Assign it to one of these new guys who doesn't have anywhere to sleep. Same. Oh, that's everybody. Okay. One thing I was trying to figure out, I think if you just make bedrooms and don't assign them to anyone, that when new people come, they'll just claim them. That might be why I only needed the 2 bedrooms. I don't know. Oh, no, it's because married people or SOs and such, they just share a bedroom naturally. Okay, those have been marked for dumping. I'm just being slow. Yeah, there's some elves hanging out in the common room. That's okay. I seem to remember the elves get kind of butthurt if they see like wooden constructions and stuff, which I think is sort of funny. They don't like it when you chop down the trees. That's fine, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. That dude's just like fishing away, like no, not a care in the world. I really wish he'd build a fishery, because I'm pretty sure he's just putting all that fish out there to rot. I don't think... He's still only a level 0 fisher. Maybe he has to get to level 1 before he can do it. I don't know how often Dwarf Therapist updates. Yeah, he's only got 30 experience out of 500 that he needs for a level. Whatever. Whatever. Military. Sorry, military. Okay. So we need to find some dwarves that suck at everything else in their lives, but want to be military. So let me open up Therapist here, and let's have a look for some lazy dwarves. Look at this guy, Tobel. Is he unemployed? He's 50 years old. He's a trader. You know, Tobel, that's not a very useful job in our fortress. So he's going to be a military guy. Tobel, how do I do this? I can't say you are now... Oh, right. You just say that your job is... I have to assign him to a military squad. I don't think I can do that. I'm looking at... Yeah, I'm looking at this. You guys can see that. I don't think I can manage the military through this, which is really a shame, actually, because it would be pretty cool. Because the military is really a pain in the ass to manage. Anyway, so let's get Tobel started as a potential military guy. Who has military skills? There's another question. Meng here is a pretty accomplished axe dwarf. So Meng, who is our woodcutter, that job is useful about once every 5 minutes. 5 minutes, no, much less frequently than that. That's never useful. It's not never useful, it's just very rarely useful. We have plenty of trees. He chopped down 3 trees at the start of the game. He hasn't done anything since. So let's get him into the military. We're going to get Meng and Tobel in there, and we'll figure out if we want to add anyone else. So back to the internet for more instruction. We're going to open the military screen by pressing M. We are going to press C to create a squad. They can wear leather armor because I don't know what we have yet, but we're going to start with leather armor and we'll see what they have. They are the Adventurous Mirrors. Adventurous, yeah, that's a... Why does that look weird? Adventurous Mirrors. That's a fine name. We'll go to the candidates, and we decided that Meng would be one of the people, and we decided that Tobel would also be one of the guys. So there we have it. And we've made Meng, who is already a decent axe dwarf, our squad captain. Congratulations to him. And we are done. So, I need to have a weapon for everyone in your squad, at least a shield and a helmet for everyone too. You'll automatically go grab appropriate equipment as long as it is free for use. Axes cannot be shared between a woodcutter and an axe dwarf, not even if it's the same dwarf. That's dumb. Whatever. Queue up an armor stand or a weapon rack of some sort. If you already have one, this is creating the barracks. Yep. Where it should be, I already figured that out. Yeah. Build your weapon rack and with Q and say it is the barracks. Sure. Yeah, that's all really unsurprising in general. Q. Make an barracks or an armory. And I want the adventurous mirrors to train here by pushing T. I'm not going to make them sleep here because I don't care. Right, because I don't care. I mean, they already have rooms. I don't see why they need to sleep in the barracks. I don't want to build more beds. Maybe I should make them sleep in the barracks. I don't know. It would only take 2 more beds. I don't want to use the beds over there on the left. Those are like dormitory beds. It's like if we get a wave of migrants, it's nice when they have a place to sleep until I get around to building them rooms. Like it took me forever this last time. So let's have the carpenter make a couple more beds, and we'll just set up in there. Now, it was quite clear that they should have weapons and such, but I'm not 100% sure how to check. Let's go with stocks. There's some stocks. We have some ammunition. I don't get what does this mean? The gray number, the gray is like the official number, and then the enhanced view. The red I think is an enhanced view. What the hell? ST weapon racks? Jesus. Wait, was that weapons right there? Weapons. 4. We have 3 battle axes, a short sword, 2 short swords. How is that 4 and then 16? That's very confusing. With some spears. I wonder if that's crap that the elves brought. I think the elves being here is throwing off my numbers because they are technically in the fortress, but they are forbidden because what is he doing? What is he doing? What? Oh, he's cutting the gypsum. That's probably not good. I probably didn't want to do that. Cancel task. Let's just not do that. I feel like that gypsum was for something. I didn't set up my embark profile, I just took one that was automatic. I hope I have you guys not looking at there, it's good. I took it with the embark profile that came stock with the game. I don't really remember what I needed for. Right, back to the military. So they're here, but they haven't got a training schedule yet, so now I have to hit S to open the squads menu, which is different than the military menu. You will notice that this game is insane. I press A to select my squad from the list. Their schedule is presently inactive. That's their alert level, and it means that that's the schedule they'll follow. The default schedule for inactive basically says do nothing, which allows them to enjoy their lives as dwarves. So if I press T, it will will change their schedule to active/training. And now they have to go and train. And there's Mark's Dwarf training, which I'm not set up for yet. We can get set up for it, though. We could create an archery range in here, which is kind of cool, right? Build an archery target here out of stone. You know that the best archery targets are made out of stone, right? What the frickin' heck is that? Oh, that's him. What is he? That is the weirdest looking dwarven icon I think I've ever seen. But that's cool. So now we have an archery target, the significance of which is sort of dubious. Oh, it's a masterpiece archery target. They're going to be shooting at friggin' the best looking archery target that ever existed. That's cool, if a little bit weird. Oh, see, there's the elves. We finished the thing, and now they finally unloaded their goods. We got more migrants coming. I have no idea how many. We'll find out when they get here. More men for the military, as it were, because I don't really need anything else right now, other than booze, which, why are we not... Is there a reason we're not doing this? Okay, so this is something that happens, and this is not good. We are still here. We have jobs set in the still, and no one's doing them. That can be for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's that the guy who does the brewing is overextended and he can't be bothered. That's blurry. Oh, here, let me... So let's go over to Therapist and have a look for brewing. I really love reading sideways. It's my favorite. Brewing. That's old Deucim here. Now Deucim is our farmer as well, and it looks like he's been kind of busy farming. So he's a pretty good brewer. The thing is, if you have an inexperienced brewer, they make crappy beer, and since all the dwarves ever drink is beer, their mood is fairly heavily affected by the quality of drink. So since we don't have an emergency beer situation on our hands, I don't see a need to set up an emergency brewer. We just have to hope that old Deucim here can get done planting. See, here he is, he's planting. I don't even need to look at him, but I will, just to be sure that that's him. Yeah, that's Deucim. He is, he's planting away, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad way for him to spend his time, really. So I can't hold that against him. What is this? Oh, they're hazelnuts. Oh, I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they could gather the hazelnuts? And then they did. And they filled up a fucking stockpile, and I'm honestly not that excited about it. I'm a little bit irked. Whatever. I want to see if I can tell if he has his full gear. I have a combat button here which explains his skills. Inventory. So you hit I here. He's wearing sheepwool trousers, a koala leather tunic. That sounds comfy, actually. A groundhog leather robe. That must have taken several groundhogs. Another cloak. Cap, hood, some socks, and shoes, and maybe gloves. I don't see him carrying any weaponry. That concerns me slightly, given that he should be. What's he doing? He's doing an individual combat drill. I don't know if that requires weapons. So this is part of the problem with it, is that I don't know if these guys are equipped. Like, are you guys ready for combat? Alright, the elves are leaving. Goodbye. Oh, and we have more dwarves. So why didn't this refresh? Oh shit, now it did. So let's have a look at... Oh, I left Therapist open. God damn it. Sorry, guys. God damn it. I'm not very good at streaming. That's embarrassing. We'll do that. No, I won't forget. God, how long was that open? Probably for a little while. Yep, that was open for a little while. My mistake. We have some new dwarves. Here's a paper maker. Who knows how useful that could be? Here's someone who's got some serious experience gelding things. If you don't know what that is, turn your safe search on and Google it. I don't need like a full-time gelder. You know? Just not that much demand for it in the fortress. So this is what you typically do, though, is you sort of go through folks who are useful. Whoa, that is a level 15 armorer. That is a master rank legendary armor smith that just showed up to hang out and work for me and live in my fortress. He is the highest ranked anything of any skill by quite a long shot. That makes me want to start armoring. But first things first, let's not get off track here. We got a cheese maker, blessed are the cheese makers, and a milker. Okay, so Zuglar, the milker, and old Zuglar is going, and my gelder, and Cyril and Zuglar are going to be joining the military, voluntarily, of course. Cyril and good old Zuglar. Alright guys, you are now military people. Congratulations. There's going to be a bit of a problem of uniforms. I don't know if I can create wooden bucklers, maybe? I don't really know. I don't really know a lot about how to play this game. Equipment, crossbows, command block. I see this intro does not have a lot of information about how to I did it again, damn it. Turn therapist off. Damn it, I did it again. I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know where my head's at. But, I've got one loyal viewer, so that's nice. Anyway, I'm gonna have an equipment problem. These guys don't have enough equipment, and I don't know how. I know how to make it. I don't really have like a leather industry at this point. I would need more animals, I would figure. I mean, who knows, maybe I have some leather. Let's see what it says here. Got some bins. It's a finished goods stockpile. Weapon stockpile. Do I have a leather stockpile? I have an armor stockpile, but I think it's basically empty. Ammo stockpile. Leather stockpile. Okay, I do have a bin in here. Is there anything in the bin? I'm thinking no. Either that or just gave me a very big view of yeah, it would have told me if there was stuff in there. We have no leather, so I can't build leather armor. And to build... well, we could start making metal armor. So, I think that's probably the last thing we'll do tonight is try to get a smith working, which sounds like it should be quick. It really is not. So we'll be doing this for at least another half hour probably. But, and I'm doing this from memory, we're going to burn wood for charcoal. which is extremely inefficient. Like, dear God, that is so inefficient as far as crafting metal. But the only really other option is to find lava, and since we didn't embark on a volcano, which is something you can absolutely do and isn't even necessarily a bad idea, I would have to dig very deep into the earth and find the lava. Knowing what I know about Dwarf Fortress, digging deep into the earth isn't always conducive to a long, healthy, happy fort, for various reasons that maybe we'll get into in several sessions from now. But for the moment, what we're going to do is build a not an ashery. That doesn't sound right. That could be right. An ashery needs blocks of shit. Doing this from memory is kind of tough. I've not played this a lot. We'll need a metalsmith's forge. That's a given. Put it right here. That needs an anvil. It looks like we're gonna. I think an ashery is what it is, and that needs blocks. Blocks is easy. It's just an extra step that they're making me do for reasons. I can say I want them to create rock. We'll get there. Well, no, that's just done. Rock blocks. We can totally do this. Well, shit. Oh, maybe it's in the mason. It could be in the mason. Mason's workshop. Construct rock blocks. It's right there. Okay, have fun. So he's going to make some blocks for us. Having a few extra blocks isn't a bad thing. Usually blocks are used to improve the quality of a building. Since the quality of the building doesn't really matter all that much, unless you're going to have a lot of dwarves hanging out there, and then you want to... The nicer a room is, the happier they tend to be for being in there. That's a terrible meeting hall that I've got going on right now, and it's like dog frenzy. I don't really know what to say about the amount of dogs that are in there. Hey, wait. He did it. He frickin' built the fishery, and now it will automatically prepare fish. So let's check our stocks, which I needed to do anyway because of the drink, but look at that. He started brewing, and we have one fish, which is dope. The brewery actually operated and brewed. I forgot all about that. Jesus, that could have been bad. We actually should brew more. Let me go back to that really quick. So since I've got my, I got a bookkeeper who keeps track of stocks. And the reason I've got a 100 question mark is that the fidelity that he checks at, after 100, I think he only goes by tens. Might be even less fidelity than that. But in any case, we have more than 100 plant, and we only have 65 drink. And since plant material gets grown at the farm, and brewing materials I need to manually do, generally you want to try to keep them pretty even. That is a huge generalization, but it's, in my experience, usually kind of true. If you don't ever want to run out of alcohol, that's like losing. That's, I mean, for all intent, like, if there was one single thing that you could do to lose at this game, it would be running out of booze. Or make some wooden bins. Running low on those. Hopefully we're not running low on wood. I think we're still good. We should probably... No, there's still shitloads just laying out here. Now, old Deucem has decided to take up farming as a profession that he actually proudly calls himself. Good for him. Right, so now we have blocks. It must have been an ashery. I just didn't remember that that's what that was called. Oh, it could be back here. If you go build some, there's like a few furnaces. There we go. Good, because I don't think ashery is correct. A wood furnace. there's something to be said that a wood furnace should be extremely hot, but this game doesn't actually simulate that as far as I know. If it does, it doesn't do a very good job of it. It turns out that ashery probably wasn't necessary. I cannot remember what an ashery is for. But, whatever. Doesn't really matter, does it? What is this guy doing? He's been cutting our claystone, our stone reserves into cut claystone, whatever the frickin' heck that is. It turns out the standard rock that we, like, have in this fortress can be cut into gems, and now God only knows how much of our stone stocks are gone. That can become problematic very quickly. Because if we run out of stone, we won't be able to build, and then I'll have to have my miners just, like, dig, which I can actually do. They're just sitting around, really, I think. Let's just do that. Let's expand the meeting hall a little bit. Nothing wrong with a nice sizable meeting hall. I mean, I could start creating more rooms for the new people, which I know is super exciting. We're gonna get that furnace done. I didn't forget, but I can be able. This is why Dwarf Fortress, it's hard to, like, it can be kind of hard to put down sometimes, because you say, oh, I'm gonna do this one last thing, but then things keep coming up. Like, it's just, it can be a little bit maddening, honestly. It's a really fun game. I think it's a really fun game. It's a hell of a lot more fun to play it than to watch it, in my opinion, but, I mean, as long as you guys are enjoying yourselves. Oh, for Christ, okay. There we go. Lovely. And then, let's get one of those, and there we go. Miners have plenty to do. We'll have plenty of stone. Everything is good. We are waiting on an architecture person, which I'm going to check therapist now all on my own. You guys have spent literally hours, not literally hours, way too long looking at therapists. Oh, okay, we got one. Architecture showed up. Now what do we need? I want to make sure we have it. Needs masonry. Okay, the mason's a little occupied right now, but I'm sure he'll come and help us out here in a minute. Struck tiger iron. That's a really cool name for a gem. And this game, like I said, is realistic. The guy who created this game, I don't know if he was into geology originally, but let's just say that he certainly shows a certain aptitude for it now. All the stone and gems and stuff, as far as I've ever been able to tell, are not only real, but they're realistically handled. Like I was talking about the iron only coming from like 3 different types of rock, and I used to know what they were, and I'm pretty sure that that is real. But since I don't pretend to be a geologist, just a fan of Dwarf Fortress. It's yeah, it's kind of useless information, honestly. That elf is still here, and he is sleeping in my pile of rocks. I think that was an elf. Why is he still here? Go home. Weird. This is a weird game. Oh, there. Okay, so the wood furnace is done. Now we can make charcoal. Now, charcoal's dangerous because you need a lot of it, and it uses wood, and wood is a finite resource in this game. Rock, like, have you seen the amount of, it's like all that black space that you can see on the map right there is probably 1 in 10 will drop a rock. Lumber is a lot more tricky, and I could actually theoretically chop down all the trees in my fortress. Well, now see, because I mean saplings will still grow back, but you just got to be careful with lumber because you need it for certain things. Only a few certain things, but certain things you need it for are important, like beds. You have to have lumber for beds. That's probably the most crucial one. Barrels. You cannot build barrels out of anything but wood, and you need barrels because that's how you store your alcohol. And like I said earlier, if you want to lose this game really fast, just run out of alcohol. That damn Decim or whatever the fuck his name is. Hurry up. Farm faster. Dude, reduce him. Oh, he's become a planter. He's getting better at it. That's good. So now when I tell my metalsmith, see, now this is now a metalsmith isn't enough. I still need a forge so that I can make bars. I need to be able to make iron bars. I don't even know if I can make that. Let's find out. Let's view the disappointment that will be learning that I cannot create iron bars because I don't have the right type of rocks. I hope you're all prepared, because God knows I am. That would be a smelter. I mean, I have prepared myself for the tears. Never build anything out of charcoal. That's right, they'll let you construct an entire building out of charcoal. It only takes one charcoal, thankfully, because not everything in this game is realistic, but yeah. Charcoal, and I think actually charcoal takes like 2 lumber per charcoal. I can make coke from lignite. Not cocaine and not Coca-Cola, something else entirely. Yeah, hematite and limonite are iron. I don't have any smeltable. I don't have any smeltable ore. So our metalsmithing enterprise is presently dead in the water. What I would typically do at this point is begin a we'll have to search for it. We'll have to see if the map supports it. I think it does. I think it said that it would. We just have to find some of the veins and mine into them and actually mine specifically for that resource. And it can be a bit of a crapshoot, and it can be a bit... You can really try your patience. But that is sort of part of the game. And it's enjoyable. It's just part of it. But anyway, I think I'm going to call it here. This was fun. We got some houses built. We got another wave of migrants. We made some food. We made some booze. We got a military who are all unarmed and unarmored founded. I don't know what they do all day, but I'm sure they're really good at it. Yeah. And, yeah, so that's Dwarf Fortress. I had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I have no idea when I'm going to do this again. Sometimes the mood just strikes. Sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, until next time, guys, have a good one.